Hi, I was guided to do something very special tonight, which was to connect in with the Akasha of Jesus from the Bible. And I listed 5 questions for him. So it's kind of an experiment for me. I'm trusting, because he's very active in my field, and I can have a conversation with him like we're friends. And so, but I didn't want to talk to him that way. I wanted to go in this way because it just feels like a very powerful way to connect in with the souls of people. And so anyway, here we are. So let's ask the questions, okay? Let's see what happens. What is your message for me today? I would ask that you relax, sit back, pull your seat forward so that you're really comfortable. Because I feel your presence, Rita, and when you're comfortable, it's more, I don't want to use the word expansive, but it's the word that I'm projecting to you, and that's what's coming through for you. But basically, you're more relaxed, so it's a little easier for me to connect in with you as well. Yeah, pull the camera forward. All right, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the house cleaning. You're welcome. So what's your, is that the message for me today? Is that the one? Just to be comfortable and relax in, and yes, and to know that you're doing everything perfectly. You always take my guidance and love in a very personal way, which is really beautiful. You know, you shared that song tonight with a new friend and your dad, the walk in the garden. And do you remember when we walked through the garden at Dixie's? Yeah, I do. Do you remember what the theme was? I remember that you had me really examine everything very slowly and really be with it. Like a leaf, like I would look at the veins in the leaf. And if there was a ladybug there, I would just connect in with that, or the little lizards, and just really see them, see them in their beauty. And you even had me draw a plant. So the theme, I guess, would be to be present. Is that right? I would say it's more than presence. Presence is a word that's sort of used a lot in your society right now, and especially at this time. You even use it a lot. But present is one of those words that doesn't really convey the full message of what I was trying to do with you. There's a lot of things that happen when you take time to really see something, and the energy of seeing something like that, especially sort of in that childlike awe and wonder, is a space that when you go into it, it expands your field in a way where you can receive more. Receive what? Receive inner guidance, inner knowings. You won't fully understand this at all until you leave here, but your ability to be here is a thought form that connects back into more like all of who you are. And that's the place that I reside. You told me today that you were everywhere because there's so many people thinking about you, and that it really isn't like being everywhere because, and then you kind of said I would never understand it until I leave here. Is that what you mean? Like that you're in that space? Sort of, but again, it's really hard to explain. I wouldn't be able to explain it to you now where you could understand it. It gets into quantum energy fields and things that you don't even have names for in 2020. Okay, let me ask you the other questions I had. All right, that sounds good. What is your message for humanity or us today? There are so many things that I would love to be able to convey to all of humanity. Be very careful how you extinguish your joy. Right now, there are so many things that have the potential to extinguish joy. And joy is sort of where I meet you. It doesn't mean I don't meet you in other places, but it's the place I meet you, like with children, when they're in their full joy. That's where it's easier for me to be with you. That's where I want you to be. Because when you're in a joyful state, you're loving, you're not judgmental, you're in a space of the essence of who you are. And so I would ask that everyone be conscious of where they let their joy get extinguished and noticing when their joy is extinguished. And then going back to some simple ways of finding their joy through music, through exercise, through whatever gives them relief and starts to take them to a higher vibrating place where they can get to joy. That would be my message. Don't extinguish your joy. You like to say shine your inner light. But it's really joy. I mean, you really want to get to joy, however you can get there. How would you describe our relationship with you? I would say that it's different. There's two ways of my saying that. One is there's a thread of me in everyone. People will say it's called Christ consciousness. There's different names for it. But my energy thread is in everyone. So that's one way that you relate to me. The other context is through what people have been taught or read. And that can be anything from, a very close relationship from different religious perspectives. It's how everyone's taught. So, and then it's people taking tangents of that. So, so I come forward in those spaces in different ways for different people. If they believe in me, if they feel like they have a knowing of me, that's going to be different than somebody that, doesn't even believe in me, so. The other question I had that was kind of part of that was, how can we be closer to you? if we have a desire to do that. Well, I mentioned the joy, getting to a joyful place, because joyful places take you out of judgment and they take you to an open space and a very clear space. So I would say to have a stronger relationship with me would be to get to have more joy in your life, and then start talking to me and cultivating that relationship with me. I would love to have it. I have it with many, many people all over the world. And it's that sort of resonance that allows for a stronger connection. Cool. How would you describe our relationship with God or Allah? If you can think of a spark in your cell that ignites the livingness of the cell, like the origin of the ignition of that cell, that is your relationship to God. I'm just kind of visualizing that. It's beautiful. How can we feel closer to God? Well, you can feel closer as you think of God being in each of your cells. The spark of existence of your cells and the spark of existence for you. So if you think of God in you that way, realize that the intimacy and the connection and the reason that people like to say Father, or they like to reference things back that way, is when you think of your DNA, you think of the things that you've inherited from your ancestors. It's the same. So it's very similar, right? And so, you can think of it that way. Like you have, lots of cells that, are, created new every day, and ones die, and they still have those genetic codes. So it's the same. It's that spark, if you can think of it that way. Think of the light, the spark in the cells. Think of that as your connection with God. That's cool. Is there anything else you want to say? No, you agreed you wanted 5 questions, which I think 5 is a great number. It's the number of creation. It's your favorite number, Rita. There's lots of reasons why 5 is your favorite number. And I just, I want to leave you with that. I also want to leave you with there's no death. You are all eternal and immortal, just like me. And when you can understand that more and more and live through your heart space that way, you'll realize how easy it is to find joy every day when you release that worry or insecurity of, what tomorrow may hold. I love you. I love you very much, and I'm so happy that we have this connection. Me too. Me too. Thanks for listening. I almost shut that off. I opened up the records, but it's more like a channeling, and I was using the pathway prayer process. And I'm going to close the records now. And thank you for watching.